Break time didn't last very long, but I don't care. Let's move on. So before the break, I was talking about Mewtwo's alternate forms, and I'm really thinking that both of these alternate forms will have vastly different purposes and stat spreads. I think Y could be like the new and improved regular Mewtwo, so to speak, with a higher special attack, higher speed, stuff like that, while X being psychic fighting would be maybe more of a physical powerhouse. I don't know. But why would they make two of them if they didn't have vastly different purposes? And that's... Holy shit! Metronome just threw Bolt Strike! Too bad the opponent's electric, and it did only 7 damage. Because of Clefairy's pitiful attack stat, but holy crap, that's always awesome when Metronome picks a really good move like Bolt Strike. That was actually amazing. I don't know why I'm laughing so much, it's just that it's so rare to see Metronome actually land on something useful, and when it does, it's the AI, which does like 7 points of damage with it. Holy crap. So, yeah, I guess I was pretty much done with the Mega Evolutions. So, as for the new Pokemon that were revealed today, Esper was made official today. Its special thing is turning into Magicite when it dies. Sorry, that joke was just too easy. Come on, you would have made it too had you been in my shoes. But seriously, it appears to have a Nidoran type thing going on, where it has different stats and moves depending on which gender it is. I don't know if they're going to be outright treated as different species, but they definitely look different from each other in terms of gender. So yeah, it's going to be something interesting to look out for. Meowstic has not, however, been shown in CoroCoro. I guess they're keeping that one for release. The fossils are also pretty dang interesting. There's one that's Rock Dragon that has an ability that boosts the power of biting moves. And while, being Rock Dragon, it's probably not going to help when it comes to stab moves. However, for moves like Crunch and the Elemental Fangs, it is probably going to be a great boon when it comes to type coverage, especially if it's unable to learn things like the Elemental Punches or anything like that. I just wonder how much of a percentage boost we're talking here, because let's face it, the Elemental Fangs are weak. Really, really weak. 65 power, 95 accuracy, that is not nearly enough. And if it's 30%, that might help a bit, but I'm really hoping for something along the lines of 50%. And the other fossil is a Rock Ice Pokemon that has, once again, a very interesting ability. And in fact, it's probably one of the coolest sounding abilities ever. Maybe not in terms of use, but just what it does, how awesome it sounds. It takes normal moves and makes them into ice moves, kind of like a reverse normalize. And since it gets stabbed on ice moves, that's also really nice. And it also powers up ice moves even further, which includes the normal moves that have been changed into ice moves. So just imagine the possibilities for a second. I mean, we know it's probably going to be getting a return, and an ice type return would be great, especially if it's a physical attacker that doesn't get Icicle Crash, because it doesn't look like something that's going to be able to use Ice Punch. So yeah, Ice-type return is great, but imagine the possibilities. Ice-type Extreme Speed! Heck, Ice-type Explosion! Just imagine how cool that would be, no pun intended. But it's probably going to get neither of these moves. In fact, Safe Money is on its normal type move pool, sucking beyond return. So I wouldn't get my hopes up, but if it gets some really awesome normal moves that it can use with this ability, then hey, I'm not going to be complaining. Also, while we're on the subject of newly revealed Pokemon, the first evolutions of each starter have been revealed. They're all monotype, though we have found out some more stuff about them, beyond their typing and appearance. Fennekin's evolution, which I'm not even going to bother learning the Japanese names, because we're probably going to learn the English names tomorrow or on Friday when they're all put on the official site anyway. But basically, Fennekin Mark II learns Psycho Cut, which pretty much cements the fact that it's going to evolve into Fire Psychic. Froakie is a bit more up in the air, to be honest. I know the leaker says water fighting, and it's still quite likely, but the big thing, however, is Chespin. Yes, I know it looks really, really weird. I mean, of course, I'm not too hot on the design, and neither are most people. But still, how many things can you do with a chestnut-based Pokemon? But anyway, the point is, we knew it got rollout. Now we know it also gets Mudshot. Combine that with its appearance. Take all that together, and the leaker said that the final stage was Grass Dark. Look at this thing and tell me just how the hell is it going to evolve into a Grass Dark Pokemon? I mean, if it wasn't for the leaker, everyone would be taking either Grass Ground again or Grass Rock for granted. And the only reason why we're still doubting this is because the leaker said it would be Grass Dark. So I don't know. I really don't know. I look at this thing, and no matter how much I look at it, I cannot figure out how it can evolve into anything else than Grass Rock or Grass Ground. I'm sort of hoping for Grass Rock if it's not going to be Grass Dark, for the simple reason that, well, Torterra's Grass Ground typing is really not all that good, especially with that terrible quadruple weakness to Ice. Whereas Grass Rock, oddly enough, Grass is one of those types where Rock seems to mesh with it a lot better than Ground does. Because Grass Rock has so many weaknesses that are cancelled out by the other type that it's kind of silly in a way. I mean, Cradily is one of the most awkward Pokemon to face, if only because you're always forced to think of what type you could use that isn't cancelled out by the other one. And that's why I'm sort of hoping for another Grass Rock guy, because that would happen again, and maybe, if it turns out good, especially since we already know it's going to have lots of HP, it could be a big pain in the ass to face. Of course, I'm talking in terms of potential here. You're probably watching this in 2014, and it turns out that Chespin's final form sucks even worse than Superior does. But, you know, it's fun to theorize about these things before the games come out and our hopes are destroyed. So, there is nothing else I can think of that I really want to say about CoroCoro, which means I'm forgetting something really important and I'm going to have to come back to it next time. So instead, I just want to come back to something I've said the other day regarding that red video that I posted. Apparently, many of you only clicked on the video and gave me a view just to see what the movie description said regarding, you know, why I had to censor it and stuff like that. Which is really weird in a way, because this is YouTube. Nobody ever reads movie descriptions, so I found this kind of amusing, you know, to see that, well, maybe not all the extra views came from that, but many of you told me that you clicked on it so you could read, you know, what was going on and why I had to censor it and re-upload it. And we are at the top of the Celestial Tower now, and there's a hidden item right over yonder. This is a ghost gem. So there's the bell over here. We're just going to ring it even though I don't think it's gonna do anything. And yes, I already did the Lean's Bell joke back in the White 1 LP, so I'm not gonna do it again, even though I effectively just did. So that is all there is to do here in Celestial Tower, though in the post-game Mesprit can be found here, so we are going to have to come back here later on in the game. So, we're now done with Route 7. We're now done with the Celestial Tower. So, how about we move on to the Mile High Club after a bit of healing, since I'm really close to a Pokemon Center and all. Can't hurt to go in there prepared, even though I'm going to have time for only like one fight, two at most. But, better safe than sorry, even though Electric does have a type advantage. I know I'm probably just wasting time here. But, anyway, we're going to move on to the newly renovated Mile High Club. And like the previous gyms, it has a brand new puzzle that wasn't there in the first game. Last time, we got banged in the Mile High Club. This time, we're getting blown in the Mile High Club. I mean, sheesh, just look at that wind, and here's Clyde, who was sent careening towards the entrance because of the wind. So, yeah, I'm going to be getting a freshwater here once again. The gimmick of this gym is basically, it's like Death Peak in Chrono Trigger, where basically the wind will blow at you and you gotta reach safe zones in order to protect yourself from the wind. So that's basically all there is to it, though it's going to get a bit more complicated as we progress deeper into the gym. Yeah, flying has more weakness than you can shake a stick at, so this is not a very hard gym, especially if you're properly equipped, which at this point you should be. Anyway, I think this guy is the only guy that we're going to have the time to fight today, because after this battle, if my predictions are correct, Electric is going to be evolving into Electros after this battle. Well, now that I think about it, I have to trigger the transformation manually with a Thunderstone, but it's going to hit level 44, which is going to allow it to learn Thunderbolt, so now there's going to be no real reason for me to keep it into an Electric anymore, since I don't have any need for the moves that it learns later on, so I'm gonna be free to evolve it into Electros, since all the moves that really interest me are TMs and Move Tutor moves from here on out for Electric. Here we go, Electric, level 44, wants to learn Thunderbolts. I'm going to get rid of Spark, of course. By the way, interesting fun fact, in Gen 6, barring any new Mono-Electric Levitators, Electros is now going to be the only Pokemon in the entire game that will have no weakness in Generation 6, because Sableye and Spiritomb will both be weak to Fairy. So, here this guy gives you a clue as to the gym puzzle, and ow! Smacked into the wall really hard. Let's go into this safe zone to do our business, and by that I don't mean taking a leak. I just want to evolve my Electric. So, Thunderstone is right here. Let's use this on Electric. And watch as it becomes an unstoppable machine of doom and destruction! Okay, not really, but Electros is still a pretty cool Pokemon, especially with the fact that it got the Drain Punch and Giga Drain through Move Tutors in Black and White 2. As I said before, I probably wouldn't even be using it if not for those two moves, so that's really its saving grace, in my opinion. So, I'm going to teach it Rock Slide real quick, replace Volt Switch with it, since I sort of want to keep Thunder Wave a little bit longer. So, other than that, I guess we're done for today. So next time, we're going to take on the remainder of the Mile High Club and battle Skyla herself.